Good morning and Jai Hind children. I hope you have studied the chapter and you have understood it. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the group. So kids, yesterday we have started a new chapter, that is light, shadows and reflection. And we have gone through some introductory part of the chapter. So what is light? What is the thing that enables to see the object? Okay, what are the sources of light? All these things we have studied. So just in 2 minutes we are quickly revising it and then we'll move further. Okay, so this chapter, light, shadows and reflection. Yesterday we have studied light enables us to see things. Yes, what light does? Light enables us to see the things around, or it enables to see the object. Okay, when light is on, then only we can see the objects. And what actually is light? Light is a form of, energy. Light is a form of energy. This also we have read yesterday. Now light, it can be a sunlight, it can be a light of a torch, it can be a light of a bulb, it can be a light of a candle. Yes, these are the various sources of light. And we have also studied that there are two basic sources of light. What are they? They are natural sources of light and artificial sources of light or human-made sources of light. So what are natural sources of light? The object that produces light naturally, like sun. It produces light naturally. So sun is a natural source of object. Flies, fireflies, what are they? They are natural source of the object. Yes. What are artificial source? Artificial source are the light of a torch, the tube light, okay, the light of a candle, the matchstick. All these are artificial sources of light. Okay, so there are two sources of light, natural and artificial. This we have read. Okay, and also depending on the object that is emitting light and that is not emitting light, we have again categorized the sources of light into two parts. That was luminous object and non-luminous object. So what is luminous object? The object that emits light are called luminous object, and the objects that does not emit light are called non-luminous object. Okay, so what are the examples of non-luminous object? Anything, a book, a table, chair, even moon. Moon is not having light of its own. It shines by the light of the sun. Similarly, earth. Earth also has some light when you look it from the above. So how this earth is shining? With the help of the light of the sun. They are not having their own light. So they are called non-luminous object. Okay. So the objects that cannot emit light are called non-luminous, and the object that can emit light are called luminous object. So I think this is clear to you. Yes. Now today we are going to learn very interesting topics like how light travels. See, yesterday we have read how fast the light travels. So we have seen that light can travel 3 lakh kilometer per second. Like in 1 second it can travel 3 lakhs kilometer. Yes, this we have studied. And we have also studied that sun takes 1/4 minutes only to reach the earth. The light of sun takes only 1/4 minutes to reach the earth. Okay, so all these things we have read already. Now today we will start with the new topic. These topics are very interesting, kids. So let's start with the new topic today. I hope, kids, you have completed the worksheet. Okay. So now let's start with the new topic of today. So today we will study that light travels in a straight line. Light travels in a straight line, and we will see that light travels in a straight line. And next we will study about what is ray and beam. Okay, what are rays, what are beam. Then we will study different types of objects like transparent object, opaque object, and translucent object. Okay, so we will study about transparent object, opaque object, and translucent object. And also we will see what is shadow. Okay, so today we are going to learn these 4 very interesting topics like light travels in a straight line, what are rays and what are beams, what are the transparent object, what is opaque object, and what is translucent object. And also we will study about shadows. Clear? So now let's start with the first topic, that is light travels in a straight line. So everybody is ready? So we will start with our new topic, that is light travels in a straight line, and we will see how light travels in a straight line. So for this, again, I have a torch. Okay, so with the help of this torch, I will show you how the light travels, and there is an activity also. So I will just show you the video to see the activity that you can perform at your home. Okay. So let's just see it. So I am just switching off the light and we'll see. Alright, so I have a torch with me. Okay, now can you see the rays of the torch? Can you see the light here going this side, going this side? Yes. And it is also going in this straight direction, isn't it? So it is just spreading. Okay, so what is it? Like the light is traveling in a straight line. It is not moving in a zigzag manner, neither it is moving in a bifurcating manner. It is just moving straight. Can you see it? When I am hitting the torch, just line is going in a straight direction, isn't it? And to show this, there is experiment also. So what is the experiment? I'll just show you the video. Okay, so I'm again switching on the lights as you cannot see me clearly. So I'll just switch on the lights again and we'll see a very small video and a PPT. Okay, to show that light travels in a straight line. So let me first explain it to you. What you can do at home, just take a candle, lit the candle, take a hollow tube and try to see it. Okay, so when you see it, you can clearly see, like for example, if I take a paper and just roll it and I try to see it from the paper, you can clearly see the lighted candle. But if you fold it and then try to see, you will not be able to. I'll explain it to you in the later part. Now let's first go to the PPT and we'll study what is it. Okay. So yes, light travels in a straight line. Now kids, this is very important. You can see here in the figure, like all the light coming from the projector in the cinema hall. So whenever you go to watch movie, have you ever observed the light coming on, like in the picture screen, the light is coming? So that light is also coming in a straight path. Similarly, sun. The light of a sun is also coming in a straight path. Light of a torch is coming in a straight path. Okay? Now children, this property of light traveling in a straight line is called rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear means straight. Rectilinear is straight. A straight propagation of light, like a straight path of light. So the property when light travels in a straight line, this property of light is known as rectilinear propagation of light. So children, to make it more clear, I'll just show you the video. Please go through it. Okay, so I'm just playing the video.
Rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light is the principle that states that light travels in a straight line in a homogeneous medium as long as it is not reflected. Let us try and understand the principle with the help of a simple experiment. Take 3 rectangular cardboards, A, B and C. Make a small hole in the center of the cardboard at the same horizontal level. Place the 3 cardboards horizontally in such a way that the 3 pinholes are in a straight line. Place a burning candle on one side of cardboard A at the level of the hole. Now make sure that you have arranged the 3 cardboards and the candle in such a way that the 3 pinholes and the candle flame are exactly in a straight line. Now observe the candle flame through the pinhole of cardboard C. You will be able to see the flame of a candle as the holes are in a straight line at the level of the candle. Now slowly displace any one of the cardboards and try to see the flame through the hole of cardboard C. The flame will not be visible. Hence, we conclude that light travels in a straight line. This is known as rectilinear propagation of light.
So kids, you have seen the video that how light travels in a straight line. So what was the activity? They have taken 3 cardboards, make a hole in a straight line and put a candle in front of that. So when you will see from the hole, it will be clearly visible. The lighted candle you can see clearly. But if you just shift the board and then try to see, you will not be able to. Why? Because light always travels in a straight line. Light does not follow the zigzag pattern or any other pattern. Okay? So we are pretty sure now that light travels in a straight line. Clear? Now coming on to our next topic, that is rays and beams. Now what is rays and what is beam? So we'll start with this. I'll again show you the PPT.
Rectilinear
Alright, now rays and beam. What is ray and what is beam? Kids, a single narrow line that is emitted from the source of light, be it sun, be it projector, be it torch, be it anything. This single line that is coming out of it, the single line out of the sun or the single ray out of the sun, we say sun ray. Yes, what is the sun rays? The single light that is coming out is a ray. Okay, now what is beam? When the multiple rays combine together, it forms beam. Okay, when multiple or several rays combine together, it forms beam of light. Okay, now ray is a single line, whereas beam is a multiple rays. Okay, now it can be parallel rays. What is parallel? The distance between all the lines are same. See, the distance between these two lines, the distance between these two lines and these two lines are same. So it is called parallel beam of light. Okay, now light can be either convergent or divergent, that we'll see. Okay, now coming on to board back. So what is ray, what is light? See, ray is a single line. Okay, this single line is called ray. When this single line, when several rays combine together, it forms beam. Okay, now beam can be divergent, it can be convergent, like this torch. So when I have shown you this torch, this is a single source and it is spreading around like this. Okay, this is the single source and light is just scattering. Okay, so it can be of this shape also. It can be parallel, it can be in a single ray. So what is beam and what is ray? Ray is a single line. Beam, when multiple or several rays combine together, it forms beam. And beam can also be scattering when it is having a single source. Clear? So the ray of sun that is coming is a beam. When multiple rays combine together, it forms beam. Similarly, this torch, it is not having only single. Is it having only a single ray? No, it is diverging, like it is spreading all around, is scattering. So it is having multiple rays together. So again, it is a beam of light. Okay, so there is difference between rays and beams. Clear? Naturally, rays are not occurring. Beam are the natural occurrence of any light. Okay, a single ray of light we cannot see. We always see a beam of light. Clear? Okay, so this was a very simple and easy topic, rays and beam. So we have studied that light travels in a straight line. Light cannot form any zigzag pattern or any wavy pattern or a circular path. It cannot follow it. Light always travels in a straight line. Okay, and we have seen what is ray and what is beam. Now coming on to the next topic, that is objects. So there are basically three types of objects we can see and through which there are different patterns of light that is passing through. There is a transparent object, opaque object and translucent object. There are three basic types of objects: transparent object, opaque object and translucent object. So kids, I am here, I am having some objects to show you. See, can you see this glass? This is a glass. Okay, so if you see the glass, it is transparent, like I can see very clearly from here till there. Okay, I can see very clear. There is a clear image from here. If I am seeing, I can clearly see that side. Similarly, if we have a plain mirror that we are not seeing, the glass that we have, glass slide that we have is a transparent object. Okay, and these objects, like in which we can see clearly in both the side, is called transparent object. Okay, now another object that is translucent. Now see this bottle. This is of a milky white color, if you can see. So this is a milky white bottle. Now when I try to see from this bottle, if I look through the bottle, then what I can see? I can see the light, but the object that is present there is not clear, like butter paper. If you have seen butter paper, in butter paper, if you just try to see from the butter paper, try to look at, you cannot clearly see the object. Same goes with this milky white bottle. You cannot clearly see the object which is behind this bottle. Okay, now another object that I have is opaque object. Now what is opaque object? Like if I put this book in front of me, I cannot see you. Okay, I cannot even see. So the object through which we cannot see at all. Similarly, if I put this duster in front of my eyes, I cannot see you. Okay, but through this I can see you partially. This glass I can see you very clearly, but with this opaque object I cannot see you. So what is transparent, opaque and translucent? Transparent object we can see clearly. In opaque object we cannot see at all, like we cannot see anything. Okay, but in translucent we can partially see. Okay, in this what happens, we can see partially. Okay, so this is transparent, opaque and translucent. Now the question comes, why in transparent object we can see clearly, in opaque we cannot, and in translucent we cannot? Why? The answer is because of the light passing through it. Because of the light that is passing through it. Now this transparent object, if I pass the light through this transparent object, all the lights pass through it. But if I pass the light through this milky bottle, partially light will pass. Like few light will pass and some of the light will not pass. Okay, that is why we see partially through it. When complete light is passing through this glass, we can see very clearly. And when we talk about the opaque object like this duster, light cannot pass through it. That is why if we look through this duster, we cannot see anything. Okay? So this is all because of the light that is passing through the object. Okay? Now I will show you how this happens. Just a moment. So now what I am going to do is, I will show you experimentally. If I pass the light through this torch, the complete light is being passed, translucent, a part of light like partially light is being passed, and opaque no light is passed. Okay, so I am again switching off the light. So let's see what happens. Alright, so this is a glass and this is transparent, I say. And when we are talking about transparent and we pass the light through this, maximum of the light or all the light is being passed. You can see here. Okay, so can you see the light on the board? Yes, so light is being passed. So this is a transparent object. Okay, now if I take this translucent object and I try to pass the light through it. Okay, now you can see a very few light here on the board. Please see on the board. Now complete light is not passed, partial light is passed. Okay, so this object is translucent. Now if I take the opaque object like this duster and I try to pass the light through it, can you see anything on the board? Are you able to see anything on the board? Any light on the board? No. Okay, why? Because in opaque object light does not pass. In transparent, again I will show you. See, this is a glass and if we pass the light through it, see, you can see the light very clearly on the board. Okay, but when we are passing the light through this milky bottle, few of the light you can see, like some light you can see, but when we are passing the light through this duster, which is opaque object, you cannot see a light. So this is the difference between transparent, translucent and opaque object. Okay, I am again switching on the lights. Okay, so I hope it is clear what is transparent, what is translucent and what is opaque object. So to make it more clear, again I have a video for you. Please have a look.
Can you see something in a completely dark room? Not really. The reason is you need light to see the objects. And what we will learn in this session is the concept of light. Now let's slowly lighten this room. Why are we now able to see the objects in the room? The reason is that now light reaches us from these objects. Light from the source falls on the objects and travels to our eye. Light helps us see objects. Do you know what the source of light is called? Objects like the sun or the tube light or the torch are called luminous objects. Can we now see the objects outside the window? Nope, we can't. But the question is why? It's easy. Because the light from the outside of the window does not reach us. The wooden shutter blocks this incoming light. Such objects are called opaque objects and they are very large in number. Almost everything around us is opaque if you think about it. Wood, metal, sheets, colored plastic and so on. Now let's open the wooden shutters. Can you see something new? Yes, we see the surroundings through the glass. And I'm sure you know why. What has happened now is that we have a clear glass which allows light to pass through it, allowing us to see through it clearly. Such objects are called transparent objects. Earlier, the wooden shutter was opaque, and the opaque objects do not allow light to pass through them. Now look at this shelf which has a milky glass. Are we able to see what's inside? Well, we can't see the things clearly, but you do see something, right? You can probably guess that books are kept inside. Yes, milky glass allows light to pass through it, but only partially, and one can see some light coming through it. What is the difference between the two? While the objects like clear glass are called transparent objects, the objects which allow light to pass through it partially are called as translucent. We can easily think of examples of opaque objects. But can you think of other transparent or translucent objects? Yes, clean water, glass, clear plastic bottles and air are all examples of transparent objects. Can you think of examples of translucent objects? Yes, butter, paper, thin sheet of plastic, milky glass are a few examples of translucent objects.
So I hope this is clear what is transparent object, what is opaque object and what is translucent object. So the object through which we can see clearly and all the lights are passed through it, it is transparent. What is translucent? Partial light is passed and we can see partially. So it is translucent. And when we talk about opaque, no light is being passed and we cannot see anything through the opaque object. Okay, so this was all about transparent, translucent and opaque object. Clear? Now I'll again show you the PPT.
Rectilinear.
Okay, so we have talked about beam and rays. Now there is transparent, translucent and opaque object. See, transparent object, it allows light to pass through it. We can see clearly. Opaque object, it does not allow light to pass through it. Hence, we cannot look through an opaque object. Translucent object, it partially allows light to pass through it. Hence, we cannot look clearly through it. Though we can see the object but not clearly. So this was all about transparent, opaque and translucent object. Now kids, there is a task for you right now. Just look around yourself and find 3 transparent, 3 opaque and 3 translucent object. Quickly. Just look around yourself and try to find what is transparent, opaque and translucent object there. Quickly. So are you able to see anything? So you can easily find the opaque objects lying beside you, your copy, your book, pencil, everything. It is a opaque object. You can see it clearly. When you go to the kitchen, you can find glasses that are transparent. And similarly, in the all around your, you can see a polythene, you can see a poly bag, a colorful poly bag. So all these things are translucent. So quickly just make a list of these, draw a table on your copy and just make a list. 3 transparent, 3 translucent and 3 opaque objects. Hurry up. Done? Alright. Now coming to the very interesting topic, shadows. Kids, when you, now also you are small, but when you were very small, what you used to do just to play with the shadows. Yes, what is shadow? हम इसको हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? परछाई कहते हैं ना. So I hope everybody has seen the shadow. But what is the science behind the shadow? Why and how these shadows are formed? Okay, now coming back to us. Alright, now what is shadow and how the shadow is formed? Kids, when I have passed the light through glass, the light was passing through, okay, and no shadow will be formed. When I pass the light through a translucent object, a partial light was formed, so you can see a bit of a shadow. But shadows are only formed through a opaque object. Okay, now when the light cannot pass through it, it forms a shadow. Okay, now I'll show you how. I hope everybody has seen the shadow and what are the things that are important for a shadow to be formed. We'll just see in a minute. Okay, so this is a light. Yes. Okay, so what is this? Can you see a black object? Okay, through my hand, can you see something black apart from my hand? Yes, see. So this black part is what? It is a shadow. Now see, it is a shadow. Okay, is shadow having any color? Yes, it is of black color, but is it having the same color as of my hand? No. Or if I take this duster, okay, oh wow, just see, I am just making the shadow of this duster. Okay, this duster is also of black color, but at this side. So can you see the black color of shadow? Yes, there is a black color shadow. So what is this? This is a shadow. The black thing that you are seeing on the board is a shadow. Okay, you can also see my shadow. Yes, you can see my shadow on the board. Yes, you can clearly see my shadow on the board. Okay, so now what are the things that are important for a shadow to be formed? See, in fact, what is the shadow? Is shadow is having any color apart from black? If I say this, if I take this book, just consider this book, if I take this book and I just try to form the shadow of this book. Okay, can you see the shadow of the book? Okay, now this book is very colorful. Okay, so is the color of book coming on in the shadow also? No, I don't think so. Something is written in this book like Living Science Class 6. This is your book. So the shadow is also writing that. Is this so? Is somebody saying yes? No. So it is not showing anything written on the board. Is the size of shadow same as the size of copy? Can we increase or decrease the size? Okay, see. This time I am putting this book here. Okay. Now the size of a book is becoming smaller. Again, if I put the light closer, the size of a book is becoming larger. The shadow of the book is becoming smaller. Again, it is becoming larger. Again, if I put it here, it will go upwards. If I put here the source of light, it will go downward. So this is moving. Can you see? The shadow is moving, but the object is at its own place. So what I am moving and through which shadow is moving? I am moving the source of light. So what are the things that is important for a shadow to be formed? First, we require a source of light. Second, we require an object. And third, very important thing, we require a background that is called screen. Okay, we require a screen to be formed. See, this is becoming larger, smaller, larger, smaller, larger. Okay, so the size of the shadow can also increase and decrease depending on the position of the source. Okay, so I am again switching on the lights. So alright, so what is shadow? First, shadow is always formed with the opaque object. Okay, shadow is always formed in the opaque, like when the object is opaque, then only the shadow can be formed. First thing. Second, shadows are always black in color. It is not colorful. Shadows can never be colorful. Alright. Now, the shape and size of the shadow depends on the source of light or the position of light. Okay, on the source of light or in the position of light, the size and position of the shadow depends. That we have also seen. And the very important thing for a shadow, we require a screen. It can be floor, it can be anything to form a shadow. Okay, now just quickly go to the PowerPoint. Alright, so shadow. Can you see kids playing with the shadow? Okay, now can you guess which side the sun will be in this picture? Behind them. Okay, similarly here the sun will be behind them. Here sun is the source of light. Okay, what is the shape of shadow? So the shape of shadow depends on the position of the source of light. Okay, what is the color of shadow? It is only black. Okay, it is not colorful. Is something written on the shadow? No, there is nothing written on the shadow. So these are the things that are very important for a shadow. First, a screen is necessary for shadow. Like when I was making a shadow, I was making on a board. Okay, so board acts as a screen here. Then no details of the object can be seen on the shadow. So when I was putting the book, then the detail that is written on the book, we cannot see it on the shadow. Yes. Similarly, color of the shadow is always black. There is no color, like it cannot be colorful. And the shape of the shadow depends on the shape of the object and the position of the source of light. So now I think all these conditions are clear to you. Okay, so now again I have a video. Please have a look at the video.
What kind of an object is a human body? Are we able to see through it? Not really. Hence, a human body is an opaque object. What happens when light is obstructed by the human body? We see that the human body is obstructing light here. There is light in front of the human body, but what do you see behind it? Yes, a shadow. This thing you see behind the body is called a shadow. Now looking at this, can you tell me the things that are required for a shadow to be formed? Two things are obvious. First, a source of light which is in front of the body. And second, an opaque object. Here, the human body is the opaque object. Can you identify any other thing we may need for a shadow? Maybe not. Now let's consider a different situation. In this situation too, we have a source of light as well as an opaque body. But do we see a shadow? No, we don't. Do you know why? Perplexed? Well, had there been a screen behind the opaque object, you would have seen the shadow on it. But because there is no screen or surface like in the previous case, we cannot see the shadow. What does this tell us? It tells us that we also need a surface on which a shadow can be formed. That surface will make us see the shadow. What's so special about shadows? Shadows also give us some information about the object. So if I show you this shadow, you will be able to tell me that it's a human body shadow. But sometimes they can also be misleading. For instance, can you name the body of which this is a shadow? You'd probably say it's that of a dog, but it's just our human hands playing the trick. Has it ever occurred to you as to why shadows are formed? We know one of the reasons. Opaque bodies do not allow light to pass through them. Yes, that's one of the main reasons why shadows are.
So alright, so that was all about shadow, transparent, translucent and opaque object, rays and beams, and light travels in a straight line. Thank you so much kids. That's all for today's class. We'll meet again. Okay, that's it. Please go through the chapter, study the chapter. I hope everybody is having the book. So all the best. Stay home, stay safe. Jai Hind.